Why is there so much controversy over this issue? And I really want people to understand that this is beyond being an issue of legality. This is an issue that involves emotions. It's an issue that involves culture. It's an issue that involves spirituality. It's an issue that involves spirituality. There's no doubt that in Islam, polygyny is permissible, right? But my teachers have taught me consistently that if you live in the West, if you live in a country, even if you live in the East, if you live in a country where polygyny is illegal, then you should not engage in polygyny. Right. Now, there are certain exceptions to that. For example, I know that there are certain cities in the United States where the legal institutions, where the judges and the courts, and even police, the law enforcement officers, they are tolerant of polygyny. I'm not going to name the cities and whatnot, but I've done my research on these matters, and there are certain places where they just kind of look the other way, and they know that this is something that Muslims do, or something that Mormons do, or some Muslims and some Mormons do, and they respect that. And if you live in that kind of situation where becoming a bigamist or becoming a polygynist will not lead to your incarceration or legal penalties, then that's your choice. Then if you have this, if it's not a legal issue, then now you have to go about building a family like this based on wisdom. And even if it's legal, some of my other scholars have said, even if there's no legal problems, you have to make sure that there is infrastructure in place, culturally, socially, and legally, that nurtures a family that's made up of multiple wives, right? And for the most part, in the United States, this is absent. For the most part, this is absent. This is why many of the ulama discourage polygyny, right? And I know some brothers are going to think I'm coming down on them, and but I'm just this is what I have studied, and this is what the usul of Islam, this is what the usul of fiqh, this is where it goes. And people need to make sure that they're not playing with the deen, because polygyny is something that can lead you to, if it's done with wisdom and it's done legally and it's done with everyone's rights and being fulfilled, it's something that can be very blessed. But if it's not, like one of my teachers told me, it can lead you to hell. It can lead you to hell, because many polygynous arrangements often end up in divorce. They end up in children being taken from their mother or father, and it's just not good. It's not good. And people need to obey Allah and fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's justice, fear His wrath, and think not just twice, but 3 times, 4 times, 5 times before going into this kind of situation. So once again, I really don't want to get into a critique of polygyny. I just want to preface what we're about to study with that it's highly discouraged for many cultural reasons, for legal reasons. Women, when it comes to insurance, when it comes to visitation in the hospital, when it just comes to their legal status, the legal apparatus that we currently have in the United States does not respect co-wives. Right? You can only have one wife. And for those of you out there who are really serious, who are really passionate about polygyny, the best thing you can do is do what's necessary to make it a legal institution in the society. A legal institution in the society. And begin to educate Muslims and non-Muslims about it and how to do it without oppressing people and breaking up families. That's what you should be doing, not having secret having secret marriages. And the last issue I want to touch on before we go into the text, and forgive me for going on. I just think that these are important issues that need to be discussed. I know that there are scholars that say that you can marry a second wife without informing your first wife. That it's permissible. That there's no obligation on you to inform your wife. But I'm telling you, just because something is halal does not mean it's the right thing to do. Just because something is halal, something is permissible, does not mean it's the wise thing to do. Just because something is halal does not mean it's the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I'm telling all of my brothers out there, if you have analyzed your situation, analyzed your environment, and you've considered, you've made shura, consultation with scholars who understand these issues, particularly scholars from the United States who have studied, who have ijazah, who study one of the madhahib, and they understand the United States law as well as Islamic law, and they also think that this is a good idea for you and your family. Do not go and marry someone while your wife is ignorant about it. Right? That is a recipe for disaster. A recipe for disaster. It's inconsiderate, it's insensitive, it's disrespectful, and it's humiliating. It's humiliating to your present wife. If this is something that you are intent on doing, and you have confirmed it's legal, it's halal in your respective locality, then do it based on shura with your wife and shura with your children. Because you bringing another woman into their lives as your wife, definitely not your home. They should absolutely have separate homes. But bringing another woman into their lives is going to affect them in ways that you can probably never imagine.